So like this week, we have closed one, two, three, four, five deals in the escrow, and at 36,000 payable.
GCI?
Yeah,
That's
that's
huge.
crazy.
That's
In a
huge.
week. Now so my day one AHA day, I think I think was July the 13th. It may be the 19th. You tell me whenever my subscription started. I don't know, but I think,
Yeah, yeah. I got a message from our team. Andrew Whittle posted like a little success story blurb from you back in July, so I can imagine like whenever you got that subscription, then you emailed in that first time, that couple of days before then. That was
yeah, and I
we
don't
have
even know when
time
that.
in front of us.
I'm not exactly, man, I'm losing you for some reason every time I do that. So
Going
I
on?
need to move you. Hang on, I'm gonna move you this other monitor.
Okay.
That's gonna be better because now I'm looking right straight at you. How about that?
Hey, I shaved.
Um,
I shaved. Got pretty for you.
I didn't. No, I did shave everything, but yeah, but my wife doesn't want me to shave. So I don't know what my earliest expired listing would be. If I can look, that should tell me on the download. What's my earliest download here? Let me look.
Okay.
Uh, I think it's going to be around the 19th. Is there a way to start? No, there's a 15th. So I'm right. So my lead date on a July 15th. My go day was July the 13th. That's the day
All
I
right.
made my first house. And so today's the 22nd, 3rd, 23rd, 23rd. So that's been 40 days ago.
That's incredible.
Good, man. And part of that, I think, the good Lord's just been good to me. I mean, I think that's highly likely. We've worked hard. We're tired every day. We work, but nothing that anybody else has got a job doesn't do. You just get
Right.
up there and try to kick butt. Yeah, so that's the deal.
Awesome. I'm just making a quick little blurb for your presentation right now, just listening to what you say. Um, Come listen and watch his story. Gold demonstrates how in less than 40 days he went from zero, from brand new, really brand new. What would we say here? From in less than 40 days, how in
Well, I mean, I was a 4 month agent, but I had no deals. I mean,
right
I had not closed a deal. Didn't have a single contract.
zero deals to over, can we say 36,000 in
My
GCI?
My GCR right now is 229,000.
Whoa, whoa.
You want a picture?
In 40 days? What's
You want a picture?
in
You want a
40
screenshot?
days?
Yeah, I have right now potential GCI $229,404. Probable is 76,991.85.
So let's do two numbers here. What have you closed in GCI, and then I can then write with another potential X in the pipeline.
Okay,
So
well
what have you closed?
I haven't hit closing yet. Everything I've got right now is in escrow.
Okay.
So in escrow, in total in escrow right now, I have 42,000
Okay, so you have 42,000.
in escrow.
All right. And then what's the 200,000 number?
That's everything listed, buyers reps, everything I got out there that's working.
And what's that number?
229.
229 BCI.
And that's all under contract, but I mean it's a listing agreement or a buyer's rep or
Gotcha.
active. We have a deal where we can track all that with Keller. So I mean I don't put numbers in there that I don't want to track because it compares me to a national average all the time.
Awesome. All right, so here's what I wrote for you. Live prospecting new expireds with rodeo real estate agent racer Botkin. Come listen and watch his story unfold as he demonstrates how in less than 40 days he went from 0 deals to 229,000 GCI in the pipeline. Something like
Yeah,
from 0 deals
that's
to
a fair one.
200,000 in his pipeline. All right, cool.
Where's that at? Where's that listing?
I haven't posted that yet.
Where's it going to be? Is what I'm saying. Is it on your
It's going to
Facebook
be
page?
on our Facebook page, facebook.com/, if you just type in if you Google REDX Facebook, that page will show up in a couple of seconds.
Oh, so is it not a consistent page?
It is, yeah, it is a consistent page. It's going to be one of the posts.
Because I don't think I follow you on Reddit on Facebook yet. I don't know
We're
why.
going to have to change that.
Yeah, would it be REDX Live maybe? Red.
Yeah, no, it's let him know. We'll share. Oh, we've got my tech team. He says we'll share that link. We'll share all the links and stuff with you later if you want.
Oh, that's
When you
fine.
get there. Yeah.
I don't need to be on it. I was just curious because I didn't know we had a Facebook page that I could be tracking. I get videos from y'all, and I just log onto those videos. That dude from California the other day, pretty
Yeah.
good. I liked watching him. He's my same style. He's kind of direct, and I mean,
Yeah.
it's really helped my negotiating because I deal with people so much that, like today, um, I got a buyer that we sold them out of their house yesterday, so they got to buy another house today. And they want a 250, 260 house, which is pretty common around here. That's the good side of our market. 170 to 250 is pretty common. And so I just called the agent. I said, "Hey man, I love your house. I got a guy that just sold his house. He's got a pocket full of cash, and I think I can persuade him to buy this house. Except you got the ugliest kitchen I ever seen." And that lady goes, "You're right." I mean, this was the agent. She goes, "You're right." And I said, "So
Yeah.
you're going to have to help me overcome your ugly kitchen so I can get him to make a deal."
Your
He's got
honesty is so awesome.
he's got 3 houses that he's looking at, and I know this is the best built house, and it's in the best neighborhood, and it's the best fit. But that kitchen's ugly. You tell me what I got to do to help him sell it, to help me sell it. And she was like, "Well, just make me an offer." And I go, "I understand. I'm gonna make you an offer, but I want to sell the house. I don't want to bounce around here for 2 or 3 days and figure this deal out. Where do I need to be?" And it's funny because people are dumb, man. They'll just tell you. They'll go, "Well, I know she'll take 260 for it." I said, "Okay."
What
Funny.
I can't wait to get into it. All right.
I hope we get somebody good to talk to. I hope
Yeah,
we
me
get a
too.
grouchy old man too. I like them.
Who do you like?
I hope we get a grouchy old man.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, because at that point, you're not going to get the deal, so it's just a matter of how long can I keep you on the phone.
That's actually one of the skills I think people could just practice. They could look at, a grouchy old person and say, "Oh, got to get off the phone, got to get off the phone," and then instead, it's like good practice for you. Good
Yeah,
practice for
hey, Mr.
everybody
Johnson.
to hang in
Hey,
there.
I don't want your help. Oh, that's perfect, man. Hey, well, let me ask you something. Have you been in Henderson your whole life? Yeah, I've been here my whole life. I got a good friend over there. I used to go to church with. You might know him. You know Dennis Smith? Well, I don't know. He owns a Ford place over there. I know you. Where did you go to church? You get them where did you go to church? They'll quit being assholes.
Yeah, yeah. Bring God into the conversation, and people start to kind of act a little bit nicer.
Well, I mean, and that should really. I mean, I'm the same way. I mean,
Yeah,
if I got somebody that I'm dealing with that I go to church with, I may not say some bad words by accident. I mean, you just try real hard to do a little better. But the grouchiest guys in the world, when I beat people on the street, man, and I'm trying to figure out when I'm prospecting and they, like they're going to slam their door, I'll say, "Man, you look insanely familiar for some reason, and I don't know why." And they'll go, "Well, I don't know. We don't have time for." I said, "That's okay. I don't need to tell you nothing. Just the same way. I mean,
yeah.
if I got somebody that I'm dealing with that I go to church with, I may not say some
Hey,
bad
do you
words."
have is that you? Do you have your own, I hear like I think we had that feedback going.
No, I don't have anything on.
No, all right.
I did make sure I had my radio off.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Um,
So, I'm ready to get into this with you. You ready to do the official go?
yeah, whenever you're ready, buddy.
All right, great. All right, so I'd like to welcome everybody to the official REDX live prospecting show. I'm your host, Justin Zimmerman. This is the place for prospecting, and I have the great honor and privilege to introduce you to Racer Botkin, who was brought to my radar, my attention a couple of weeks ago through our little channel here inside of REDX, and I got the chance to pick up the phone, listen to him, and he has one of the most amazing, fascinating, exciting, authentic, and quickest stories to success I've heard any REDX customer have. And so his genuineness, his down-to-earth style was so charming and warming. We had to bring him on the show to share his story with you and demonstrate how he gets appointments listings with REDX. And so I'd just like to welcome Racer to the show. Thanks for making time in your day.
You
One
bet,
funny
buddy.
thing you should know about him is he is a rodeo announcer. And so you might have heard him before, his style, his approach, and how it all works together.
How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. Like I said, I knew I was going to be on here with you. I wanted to look nice and pretty, so I shaved.
You're
And
way prettier than me. I'll just say you're a lot
oh,
prettier than I am.
you have a
I
nicer
mean,
hat than me.
I'm 6'3" on the phone though. So
Yeah, well, I wish I was 6 feet tall. That was like the goal. I wanted to hit six, but just missed it by a couple.
I'm 5'5", and yeah, but on the phone I'm taller. That's why I like talking to people on the phone. They think you're a big old guy, and I say I'm handsome too. You got to see me.
Let's see. As you can see already, he's bringing out the charm for everybody. I'd like to spend a couple of minutes before we get into the calls today. We're doing new expireds and then your whole expired list. And so before we get into that, I'd love for you to share with the audience a little bit of your background, your story. You brought such enthusiasm and like excitement to one of our last calls before this, and so if you could just run with how you got started and what you saw with REDX, and just tell us a little bit of that story.
Well, so my wife is Gwen Botkin. We're a team. We work together, and which if you've ever wanted to really challenge your marriage and relationship, go in business together because it does challenge things. She's awesome. She is maybe the greatest person in person selling homes that I've ever met. But my deal really is people that I don't know. I like people that I don't know, and people that don't know me like me a lot. So anyway, that's kind of a plus. Um, so we got in real estate. We went to our school last fall, and we tried a local broker, and wasn't getting the training that we really was desiring. So we joined Keller Williams and here in Tyler, Texas, and which has one of the greatest training platforms of anybody in our area. And so I just was really dedicated to try to master the industry internally before I went out there and tried to fall on my face publicly.
Sure.
I've announced rodeos for 20 something years. You better know how to talk before you get behind that microphone, because you're going to lose about half that when you turn it on. So
Mm.
I just have always kind of had a desire to be good whenever I stepped on the field. And so we walked through a lot of training, and still we're struggling with lead generation. We know a lot of people, but how do you go from friends to, hey, give me your business? How do you make that transition and it not be awkward? And the truth of the matter is, it's not awkward for the people you're calling. It's awkward for you.
Mm.
And so my coach there at our local office, his name's Hayden Riggs. He's a cool cat. He called me and he said, "Hey, you and your wife are signing up and going to this BOLD class. It's Build a Life by Design and a Business by Design." And I said, "Well, I don't know." And he says, $800 a piece. And I was like, "Man, dude, I am stacked in my credit cards. I'm in debt up to my ears. I'm paying 2 MLS dues times two." So, I mean, me and my wife together was paying about $500 a month then. Now it's about 1,000 because we're members of everywhere in the country. But I said, "I'm broke." And he goes, "I don't care if you're broke or not. You got to go." And so we went. and they offended us in every way possible without being offensive, but they just brought up stuff inside you that made you really reflect on who you were and
Yeah.
how you thought and what your motives were and how you did business. And then they challenged us to make 100 phone calls a week and contacts. And you had to report that in with integrity and say, I either made it or I didn't make it. And
Yeah.
you were on a team, which means you let your team down. So we started calling people out of our sphere of people on our phone, and it was a simple script. It was, hey Joe, how you doing? Ford script. A lot of people know what a Ford script is, but family, occupation. How's your family? How you still working over at the Ford place? Yeah, it's great, man. Hey, did y'all go on vacation this year? Now we're thinking about it. Well, how's the kids doing? What do you got planned for the future? That was the deal.
Right.
And
Right.
then get around to, hey, while I got you on the phone, I'm in real estate and it's built off referrals. Do you know anybody that might be interested in buying or selling a house that I can call today? And so that's how we started.
Yeah.
That was terrifying to us. I mean, it's terrifying. We'd never done that. I've spoken in front of hundreds of thousands of people on a microphone. That was easy. This was somebody that I actually knew, and it was terrifying because I knew my buddies knew that whenever I called them and I ain't talked to them in 3 years, I wanted something,
Mm.
or that's what I thought anyway.
Right. Right.
And so we got to a class in week 4 of Bold, and it was talking about expireds. And it talked about expireds for sale by owners. And it had some scripts that went along with that. I had never liked scripts because I had an ego that was too big for a script. I thought, I talk for a living. I don't need your script, and those scripts don't sound like me. And Dusty Oglesby, who is my MAPS coach through Keller Williams, and and a dear friend, he said, "Listen, this ain't about the script; it's about the answer. You need to
Mm.
have an answer for every single question, and you need to have a plan to where you're going next. That's why you learn the script." So he stood us all up, and this is where you learn it. He said, "Here's how you're going to learn your script." He goes, "Hey, I'm looking for James," and we'd go, "I'm James," and he'd go, "Hi, James, I'm Dusty." He goes, "Now y'all do it." And that was it. "Hey, I'm looking for James." He'd go, "I'm James. Hi, James, I'm Racer." Next. And we did that over and over and over. And then he said, "Hi, James, I'm Racer. I was calling because." "Hi, James, we did it over and over and over. And then you're showing up expired. Da 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 da. You know what I mean? And we learned
Right.
the script. And then all of a sudden he said, "Okay, who wants to pitch it?" So I stood up and I pitched it and I owned it. I took my own words into it. And he goes, "That's exactly what we're talking about." And it clicked that I didn't need to be able to sound like what was written on the paper. I needed to sound like me.
Mm.
I needed to be me, but I needed to drive. It's kind of like you don't live on the interstate, you live on your street. But because you've driven on your street over and over and over, you can drive on the interstate.
Right.
That's what scripts do. Scripts give you the ability to drive in places that aren't normal.
Right.
And
Right.
so I came home, and that was on a Wednesday. No, that was on a Tuesday. So I came home and I thought, okay, I got to do something different. I mean, we're broke. We had 0 deals. We had a pocket full of leads that were really fragmented. I was terrified to ask somebody for a buyer's rep because we live in East Texas, and people are like, "My word ain't good enough. It ain't good enough." And so I was terrified of that. So I had nothing. I mean, I really had nothing. I had no
Yeah.
business. I might as well have been selling popcorn at the fair. And so I got online and I thought, there's got to be. There had been a company that had been in that bowl class that had talked about it. Wasn't interested. I hated scripts. I didn't want to call people, so I didn't even listen to the guy. But I did remember that he had talked about there's a service out there that can help you do that. So I searched number one services that help you do expired listings and da 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 da. And truthfully, I love the color red, and y'all are red, and so that drew me to you, and because I'm a color guy, and uh, and then the reviews were the best. And so I went through and I read through the stuff and I thought, I'm going to call these guys. I'm broke anyway. I mean, I still got another $1,500 left on my credit card. I'm going to spend it on something. Let's see if we can make some money.
Right.
And so I called and I got this sales rep on the phone that would not turn me loose. I said, "Hey, I just want some information. Don't want to take a lot of your time. What's it cost?" And he was like, he does just what I did. He was like, "I don't worry about what it costs. Let me tell you what it does." And he
Wow.
walked me through this deal. And so, and then he had the best. He did for me what, if you're not on REDX, okay. So when you call those people, you listen to me. When you call that people, that guy says, "Hey, if you'll just try this, Then you tell me if you're willing to buy it or not. You do it, because that statement that he made to me, I'm going to give you access if you'll just try it. Use the script that's on the screen. If you don't have a script, if you'll just try it, we'll circle around and we'll visit next week and we'll see what we can do to help you.
Wow.
And that changed my life. It changed my wife's life. It changed my kids' life. It changed my business partner's life. It put $1,500 a week in my transaction coordinator's pocket's life. It gave me the ability to hire a personal assistant yesterday's life. That statement changed everything.
Wow.
And so what I did is I downloaded the software on a Thursday, and I got on the phone and they helped me figure out how to get some leads in the deal. They were super helpful. I'm not real techy. I'm really good at country. You know, I mean, like I can fix stuff with a pair of pliers and some barbed wire, but this Mac and me have a love-hate relationship. And so they helped me do that. They walked me through every single step of how to do that. They got on my screen. It wasn't scary. They did it exactly the way. So they got me in place. And Saturday morning, I woke up. It was crazy. I woke up at 5:45, and I had this feeling kind of overcome me. Now, I wasn't drunk or hungover, nothing weird, but we're a praying family. So, I mean, we've been praying for a miracle, and because we needed one. And so I woke up that morning and I knew. I mean, like I knew deep in my core. And I got up, I got dressed. It was about 6:15, and I told my wife, I said, I'm going to work and I won't be back until I have a contract.
Mm.
And my wife looked at me, and I figured she thought I was never coming back, because we've been in business for 5 months and we didn't have no contract. So, I mean, she was like, I got rid of that sucker today, he gone. But I knew that was the day, you know. And I got that day written on my wall. It was July the 13th. That's 40 days from today. It was July the 13th. The one person that I had great success with that day, when I called him, I was terrified, man. Dude, I was terrified. And I said, hey, this is Racer. I'm from Keller Williams, and your house is expired, and I think I can sell it. That's about how I said it. And he goes, really, what makes you think you can sell it? And I go, well, I got a plan, because I do have a plan.
Yeah.
And your pictures are terrible. And if you'll just talk to me, you'll like me. That's about all I had. Well, I sold that guy's house yesterday. From the day that I called him, it took about 2 weeks to get him listed. He listed 15 days ago yesterday. I sold his house in 15 days.
Wow.
His house had been listed for 1 year. He had one offer and 3 showings. We showed it 9 times last week, and we closed it yesterday for cash.
Man.
So that's just one deal. I mean, I got stories for days, but what I want people to know, because we come from a dreamer's background. So I had to be a kid from East Texas my daddy was a race car driver. That's how I got my name. But I wanted to rodeo. So I had a dream, and it did not fit with my lineage. It didn't fit with my background. But because my dream was big enough, I was able to align my life to fit my dream instead of fitting my dream towards my life. And so I went from a race car guy to a rodeo guy, and went to the top of that industry, operated at a high level, worked in every state in the United States. I did the Canadian finals, a lot of cool stuff. But we've been dreaming our whole life. My wife is a super big dreamer. And so this was a dream. This was a dream for something we could do together, and we could provide a way to have some stuff for our kids and our family that we've never, ever been able to have. Both of our families are humble, good, hardworking, less than $40,000 a year income people.
Yeah.
We don't have a pedigree to make money. But what we did have was a dream. And so whenever I started dialing on that day, I realized, hey, look, this ain't as hard as everybody makes it. And most people are scared of it, and I'm not scared. They've got something that I want, which is my dream. And so on day one, on July the 13th, I had no contracts on anything. I didn't have a buyer's rep. I didn't have a listing. All I had was about $15,000 in credit card debt, towards real estate, and I had a cool name badge, and I had a neat embroidery on my shirt.
Yeah.
So I had what a lot of people do that you don't realize is I had marketing, you know, and marketing that supports work works.
Yeah.
But marketing without the work is you might as well go put a sticker on people's car. They're going to tear it off and throw it away. They don't even know.
Right.
And so we started that day. And so here's where the story gets good. So Keller Williams has a program called Command, and it's like amazing. We have every way to document our leads. We have every way to keep everything going. And then it also has a program in there that lets us enter real deals. We convert a lead to, just a touch to a lead to that process. By the time it gets to where it's a probable deal, then it goes into this system called opportunities. And so on day one, I had zero, 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 every line, which means I was really consistent, but it sucked. It was terrible. And so today, 40 days to the date, 40 days later, I have 15 listings. I have 15 buyers under buyer's rep agreement. That's not counting the ones that I just hadn't got that far yet. We have a probable, which means it should close, GCI of $76,991, 42,000 of which will close before the end of September. And my potential GCI, depending on who gets both sides and how things work out, is $229,000. And that's 40 days. And I'm not a genius, man. I don't have a college education. I've made my living being country most all my life. I live in a really nice 4-bedroom, 2-bath house on top of a hill across from the school. I don't have a gated entryway. I don't drive a fancy car, drive a F-150 pickup truck. I'm just a dude. But every single day I get up, I come, I sit down. The most important thing I do, because of this book right here, I'm not promoting Gary Keller. I'm promoting your life. This book right here and REDX changed my life. That book says if you figure out the one thing that you can do that makes everything else better, do it. And do not get off of it. Do it.
I love that book.
And the one thing that I can do is get my butt out of bed and get on that phone. And if I do that by 10 o'clock, if I take the rest of the day off, I've planted enough seed to where I'm going to get a crop. And this is just, all this is farming with a phone. We are planting seeds every single day so that in a lot of days they come up. And so that may not happen today. I got another listing deal that I'm going to this week. I've actually walked through life with this lady. We met on the phone. She's got a $900,000 place. She's a widow, had a lot going on. She had a surgery coming up. We're caring people, so we sent her a card right before surgery and said, hey, look, we're praying for you. You're on our list. The next 2 days, she got another card that says, hey, we hope you're feeling better. We're not going to call you because we don't want to bother you while you're trying to heal up, but we do want you to know that you're on the top of our mind every single day.
Yeah.
When we have a list that we look at every single morning and we put your name on it, And then she calls me in a week and she says, hey, listen, I got some stuff going on in my family that I'm needing to take care of, but you're going to list my house. Can you give me a week or two? And I said, it's no problem. I'll give you a week or two. I'll give you 3 weeks, whatever you need. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to circle back around in about 7 or 8 days and just check on you because I want to be sure you're okay. Yeah. And so me and this lady are really good friends, and I've never laid my eyes on her, not one time. And so that's what you get to do if you do the work. You get to all of a sudden turn what looks like business and money into impact and relationships. And what that happens when you overcome fear, when you overcome the fact that it's scary.
That's one of the biggest things, and why we try to put this show on, and why we spend the beginning of this show talking about things like this, so people can hear it, feel it, know the stories. That I think it's the story in our head that stops us a lot of the times from taking the action. And so if that story is negative and strong in people's heads, we bring someone like you on to like maybe help them hear something different outside of their heads.
We call it your drunk monkey. If your drunk monkey is screaming in your ear and telling you you
Yeah.
can't, or that people are laughing at you, let me tell you something. I called a buddy of mine that's a realtor and a builder here in town, and I said, "Hey man, I'm real estate. Here's what I'm going to do." And he said, "Dude," he said, "I hope you do good, but real estate don't work. He said, for every person you call on the phone, there's been 25 people calling before you. He said, you call me in a year and you tell me how you're doing." He said, "I bet you make $43,000 next year." Well, me and him are going to have a phone call today, and I'm going to say, I did make $43,000 last year, but I made it this month because what I'm doing is not what you're doing.
Right.
That's the big deal. In real estate, we have a lot of, the first thing I think I've realized that helped me is that everybody in real estate, their name is this. Hi, my name is John. I'm a realtor with. Their last name is Realtor,
Hmm.
and my last name is Realtor,
Hmm.
which means we're related. We ought to be on the same team.
Yeah.
We ought to work together like we're family. I ought to look out for my fellow realtor that's listing, just like he was my brother,
Yeah.
and he ought to look out for me. Now, everybody doesn't do that, but you can't control everybody else. You can control you.
Yeah.
And so we love our realtors. We care for our realtors. We take people to lunch. We go into realtors' offices and we bring donuts and we bring cookies and all that stuff because I want them to know that when they get me on the phone, they have a partner, they have a
That's
friend.
that's
I'm not
super
in the same
smart.
company, but I'm on the same team. I want their client to find their dream home, and if I own it, I want to help them buy it,
Yeah.
and I want to help my people sell theirs so they can get on to their next stage. When we figured that out, that was a really important deal, then we didn't feel like we was in competition with anybody. I mean, I didn't look at, my friend over here that's got 4 listings this week and go, how's he doing all that? Or I should have got those people. No, he got those people because he did the work. I didn't do it. Anybody, I talked to 2 realtors yesterday, seasoned, great realtors that I respect that helped me. That I was going over GCI, and they said, "Don't ever count your money. Don't ever count your money." And I said, "Well, why not?" And they said, "Because if a deal doesn't go through, you go through remorse because you lost your money." And so here's my take on that. So I'm kind of from a ranch background, and my daddy raised us to where it never was too hot, it wasn't too cold, it wasn't too early, it wasn't too late. You did your job, you worked hard, you outworked everybody else because that's the way you did it.
Yeah.
So while money can't be your motivation, impact has to be your motivation. How many people can I help get where they're going? Because people that are selling need to get somewhere, and people that are buying want to get somewhere. How many
Absolutely.
people can I help do that? But you keep score with money, and you write down your GCI. If you think that's voodoo or bad juju or whatever, you got a problem. You need to get over that. You make your own luck. There's blessings and there's efforts, but there ain't no such thing as really luck.
Yeah.
Um, and if you lose a $10,000 deal, you ought to feel bad. If you go through remorse over it, you should,
Yeah.
because there's a reason you lost it. You either didn't get on the phone enough, you didn't work the deal right, you didn't take care of your paperwork, or they wasn't supposed to buy that house. And if they weren't supposed to buy that house, you can't count that as a loss. You have to think about your client and say, that's what happened best for my client. Because they said, well, what if an inspection comes back and you lose that deal? I go, then we won.
Hmm.
My client didn't get a house that wouldn't pass. I rejoice with that instead of being frustrated that I lost 10 grand. I mean, you can't think of your business like that, but you should feel bad if you lose a deal because somebody else called somebody. That's your fault.
I think that's a fantastic lens to look at the business. And you said a lot of, I think, important things that, impact and showing up with integrity, um, all the things I think that represent the profession in a way that a lot of agents could benefit from seeing in action. And so, what do you think about jumping now into demonstrating some of the principles, qualities, scripts, and dialogue that you've used these last 40 days to
Sure.
bring yourself from where you were to where you are today?
So you want me to just go over that with you kind of first and then dial, or what are you gonna do?
Well, why don't you do a quick little role play script with me? What a
Sure.
normal new expired sounds like. Once we finish that up, we can then jump into the live calls.
Sure. Sure. So I'll call somebody on the phone and it'll ring. And if you're gonna answer the phone, you're gonna say hello. So you say hello.
Hello.
Hey, Justin, this is Racer Botkin over at Keller Williams Realty. Listen, the reason I'm calling today is I needed to know if your property on Red Maple is still available for sale.
No, it's not.
Not for sale, or it's
Not for sale.
not listed.
It's not listed.
It's not listed. So, but would you still sell it?
I would consider it. Yep,
Well, I can sell it.
you can. What makes you think you can sell my home?
I promise you I can sell your house. Number one, I have a great plan. Number two, I'm looking at your property and I can give you about three things that can help that house sell a lot better than what it did last time. Let me ask you, what do you think kept your house from selling over the last, would you have it 6 months?
Yeah, I just think the other agent wasn't really focused on marketing it.
You know what? I never would say another agent is not doing their job, but you know, if you've ever had a haircut, that everybody's not created equal. And
Right.
so, yeah, and so I'm highly coached in helping property like this sell because I look at it through a different lens. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you down and give you a free consultation. Takes about 30 minutes. That's really all the time I have, but I can do it tomorrow at 2:30 or 3 o'clock, and I'll show you how I will sell your house.
Sounds fair.
Is that fair?
Yep, sounds
Okay, it
fair.
won't cost you a penny. So I'm going to be by there. Is this the right address to stop by and see you at 1735 Red Maple Road?
That sounds right.
I'm gonna bring my wife with me, and when you take one look at her, you're gonna know one thing for sure. You know what that is, Justin?
What is that?
You're gonna know I'm the greatest salesman in the world. Because if I can sell this to her, I can sell anything.
Oh, that's a
So,
good line.
hey, let me ask you something. While I still got you on the phone, we'll visit a little bit, but I won't have a lot of time when I come by there, and I don't want to take up a lot of yours. Where are you moving to whenever you sell your home?
Uh, Probably to Florida.
Florida. Are you job transferring or retiring or to hit the lottery or what takes you there?
That's where my family is.
Where your family is. Well, that's perfect. So were you raised in Florida and you moved here?
That's right.
That's great. So you want to get home, right?
That seems like what we should do.
Perfect. So listen, here's my deal. My company's called Dream Team Property Group, and what it's about, it's your dream. And it sounds like to me your dream is to get with your family. Is that right?
That's nice. Yeah.
Okay, so 30 minutes of my time and your time tomorrow, and I'm going to show you how I can get you to your dream. Does that sound fair?
I love how you tied this all together. It's great.
Okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
And that's how we do it.
All right. Well, let's see if we can get someone on the phone and hear it with a real homeowner. That was great.
If we can get somebody to answer, this is a tough time of day. That's another thing that I would share with you if you are prospecting or dialing. If you start at 9, you're late. 8:45, people will answer the phone. They'll answer the phone till about 10:30. Usually, I have a lot of luck at night. I try not to dial anybody past 8:15 this time of year because it's daylight. So if the
Hmm.
sun's up, people are usually awake. But from about 7 till about 8:15, it's a really good time. And sometimes I'll save higher end listings so that I feel like I can get those people when they're at home.
Mm.
And and part of my pitch there is I go, hey, listen, I know it's 7:30 at night, but because I care a lot about my clients, I work till about 8:30 every night.
Mm.
And that way then people know my hours. They know I work 12 hours a day at least, and I want them to know I work hard. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball. I work hard. We work really hard. We've sold 5 listings in less than 21 days in the last month. So, because
Mm.
I didn't have it 30, 40 days ago. So everything we've sold has been fast. But it hadn't been because we sold them cheap. We just get on the phone and we hustle. So anybody can do it. So it takes some practice, but you got to get over the fact that you think people are judging you too. They're not judging you. They're just, if you treat people right, they're glad to hear from you for sure. Let me get over here on news. I'm going to do news today, right quick, and we'll see if we can get somebody to answer.
All right.
Worst case scenario, we make a friend. Worst case scenario.
Well, you've already made one with me, and I'm sure a couple other people watching.
That's what you got to realize. Your business is not about business. If business is only about business, then when business is not good, you're a failure. But if business is about people, and if the worst case scenario is you make a great friend, somebody that you can stop by and see at their work, or send them a card in the mail with a little gift card in it or something like that. If you can do that, then you always win. Even if you don't get the listing, you always win. And so that's kind of what we do. Let me get somebody on the phone. I turned my dinger off so y'all don't hear the influx of all that stuff.
Did you get
Come
that
on.
speakerphone?
I do, but it hadn't dialed me yet.
Okay.
It says it's calling me, but it's not liking me. I've had phone trouble all morning, and it may be time to change phones. Okay, so it's not catching me. Let's try it again. Storm is calling me, and it's not getting. My phone is not ringing. Me and you had this trouble this morning, and this is not normal. This is not normal because, like, my phone has to work. This is going to be so frustrating. Come on. This is where I need to be techie. That's a different hat. Still not working. It says press 1 to continue, and I got nothing.
Is it the cell signal where you're at?
It's a cell signal. I'm in a metal building, and it usually doesn't cause me any problems. But today, you and I, on our earlier call, we had a lot of trouble, and it wasn't dialing through. Here we go. Here we go.
Welcome to Storm.
Hey, can you hear that?
Press 1 to continue.
All right, so we're going to start over here. Oh, man, it kicked me to geo leads. Back this out. Let's regroup because we don't want to do geo leads. Geo leads is another good deal, though. We didn't talk about that. So on your geo leads, for you, if you don't know what that is, it's where, like, if you have a listing in a neighborhood, what I like to do is go in and pull the nearest 50 neighbors, and just right after I list it, I call them people on the phone. I'm going to go see them too. I'm going to go knock on their door too, because there's nothing like face to face. But if you call them on the phone, you go, "Hey, Mr. Johnson, I'm Racer Botkin from Keller Williams Realty and the Dream Team Property Group. You might have seen my sign show up on your neighbor's house this week. We're helping Mr. Whatever sell his house. And the reason I'm calling you is because from time to time we're going to have open houses, which means the traffic in your nice, quiet little neighborhood is going to change because we sell houses. And I also didn't want you to have fear of what you were going to do with a new neighbor that you didn't know.
Welcome to Storm.
Because that's always kind of scary to get a new
Press 1
neighbor
to
into a
continue.
neighborhood.
Sure.
And so what I was going to do today is I was just going to let you know that if you have anybody that you go to church with, that you know from town, maybe your work, maybe your kids play ball with them, that you think you would love to have as a neighbor, if you'll give me their number, I'm going to call them and I'm going to treat them like a king.
Wow.
And I'll give them a private tour of that house, and I'll tell them that you told me to call them because you would really like to have them as a neighbor. How's that sound? And it's amazing. You'll get some leads like that. But then the next thing that's going to happen is, even if they say, "I don't know anybody," you say, "Okay, man, well, listen, if there's anything I can do to serve you while we're in your neighborhood, you let me know." Matter of fact, I know a lot of people. If you need your house painted, if you need some new flooring, if you need whatever, that's my business. So I'm there to serve your neighborhood. So you just let me know, and I'll help you with anything you need. And so then when I knock on their door, I know them. I'm like, "Hey, Mr. Johnson, Racer Botkin, you remember me on the phone? I'm taller on the phone. This is my wife," and we meet them. And I go, "I just want to come by and meet the neighborhood. I'm going to sell this neighborhood to somebody, and I want to be sure and tell them that I love these neighbors. And I met you on the phone. You were really kind to me." If they're kind to me, when I walk off that house, I write down their name, their number. I've already got their lead. I've got the whole information because of the geo leads. And I send them a card in the mail with a little gift card that says, "Hey, have a cup of coffee on me," just for being nice to me. So by the time I'm done with the neighborhood, if you're going to list a house, you're going to list it with me,
Service.
not in
Please
service.
check the number and dial again. SBOK.
Okay, we'll skip to the next one. Wrong number. I know you hate that to show up on a video. I tell you something else people don't do, that are friends of mine. They don't list that right there as a contact. A no is a contact. If you talk to an answer machine, if you get a no, this is the wrong number, you count it, because progress is what's going to keep you going. Momentum is what's going to keep you going. If you dial 100 people in a day, church, I don't need to call it church. They're still dialing geos for some reason. I don't know why. I got to fix this, man. I'm not very techy, so for some reason, I'm not getting this to go to just my expired leads. Why is that? Expireds. That's who I want to call. Dial. Justin, I need you on the end of my computer is what I really need. Okay. Do you want to resume it? No. I want a new calling deal. Here we go. See if this will work. At least my phone's working. I don't feel so bad because I watched a video the other day, and the guy that was on there the other day is a guy from California. What's his name?
James Shelby.
Yeah, and he had the same problems. so see, because I saw him struggle with this, I'm not freaking out. No, it's not done. This is not y'all's fault, just so everybody knows. I am struggling with this cell phone. I've probably overwhelmed it in the last 2 months. So come on.
We've done a great job so far of explaining your core values, your philosophy, your tactics, your approach to the business. And I think, yeah, people can come on here and they can watch someone make calls and kind of pick up the verbal tactics. But I think, like an iceberg, all this other stuff sits underneath it, right? Like, you couldn't say these things in the way you say them unless unless you understood who you are. And so for people to pick and choose the elements that they're going to get from today's show, knowing who you are gives them, oh, that's the basis that he uses to put this out into the world.
Yeah, we use a phrase a lot whenever I'm. It's funny because we went from student to teacher like in a month. I don't know how that worked, but and that's part of the. I mean, that's really part of the natural what that's kind of the attrition of anything that you become good at. I mean, we're not masters at this. We're not veterans at this. We really don't know. I don't know how to fill out a contract. I have a transaction coordinator for that. I don't have a clue how to fill out a 1 to 4. I mean, I can get my name in it and their name in it, and that's about it. But one of the savings that we tell people all the time, because they'll say, man, I'm just not getting the business you are, or I'm not getting the business so and so is, or I don't know how y'all are doing it, or I don't know what y'all are eating, or what, you can't compare your outsides to somebody. I mean, you can't compare somebody's outsides to somebody else's insides. And what they don't see, they see whenever we show up at a team meeting and we get accolades because we've listed $1 million worth of property this month, or contracted $1 million or whatever, and they go, I don't know what them people are doing, man. I mean, how come they're new? Why are they kicking tail? And we've been in real estate 3 years and we're not, and la da da da. And what they don't see is they don't see what's behind the scenes. They don't see the fact that I get up and I fail a bunch before 10 o'clock. I mean, I just fail forward. We make a lot of calls. I hit some of them off the back of the club and they don't go nowhere. And I know it. But the minute I hang up, I know I screwed that deal up. And so what I do is I just put them on my circle around and try harder in a week or two list. And I come back and I go, hey, I talked to you the other day. Truth of the matter is, it wasn't on my game when I talked to you. Had a lot going on. I'm busy. Life's like that. But I'd like for you to give me another shot at talking to you about selling your house. And just be humble, and let people know that you're human, and you don't have every answer, but you'll get one. You'll find them, a good answer. And so with that, this is when I hope I get this listing. Let's pray this guy answers. Come on, buddy. It's like playing slot machine. Yes. Come on. Take my quarters. Trip my quarters. Doggone it. Let's go to Jacksonville, Texas. My area covers 200 miles.
Good to know.
See what you're fixing to.
Hey, it's Shannon. Please leave a message and I'll call you back. Thanks.
Hey, Shannon, Racer Botkin here from Dream Team Property Group and Keller Williams Realty. The reason I was calling you is I think you're the owner of the property on Hillcrest Street that's been for sale it's been for sale for a long time. Listen, I want to see if it was still for sale, and if it is, I can sell it. So give me a call back, 903-918-3255. Thanks. Now, I usually drop a voicemail, but I went ahead and let that roll so y'all could see it.
Great. Thank you.
That's really all I did. And that is true. I'm not lying to them people. I can sell it. Somebody's going to buy that property. It may be because we have to change the price. It may be because we have to get better pictures and give it a better presence online. It may be because it's in Jacksonville, Texas. It's a $399,000 property, and it's probably only on the Tyler MLS. So I might need to put it on Houston and Dallas to make that happen, which costs money. But I can sell it. If it's for sale, we can sell it. If it's priced out of the market, we'll work that out when we get to the table. But what you have to do right here is you have to win that person over and get in front of them. And if you can get in front of them, you got a chance. Let me call her other 3 numbers and see what happens. It helps if you really love people. And we do.
It's really hard if you don't.
It's really hard if you don't. And I love people. Let me tell you, people that are grouchy at you has nothing to do with you. It has something to do with something else in their life. And truth of the matter is, nobody understands it. So that's why they're grouchy. And so sometimes you just have to shift into counselor mode and go, hey, man, you don't have to be that way to me. I'm trying to help you. I'm on your side. I've made a business. Hello? Oh, nothing. Keep going. I've made a business out of taking people that had to put their dreams on hold because something didn't happen like they wanted it to.
Hello.
Hey, this is Racer Botkin from over at Dream Team Property Group and Keller Williams Realty. I'm calling. I'm sorry. Let me get a little closer. Hey, my name's Racer Botkin. I'm the owner of Dream Team. Can you hear me? Hello? My phone is not playing nice. Hello?
Hello.
Hello? My goodness. Ugh. That's the back of the golf club right there. I got phone trouble. No doubt. It's got to be something around here. What do I do? Do I call her back? See if I can
Get a landline?
No, I don't. Does anybody have a landline?
I think my mom does.
Yeah, mine too. Let's redial her. Maybe it'll work. If it doesn't work, then we're gonna have problems all day long. If it doesn't work, I'm going to the AT&T store. Is what I'm doing.
Okay, go.
Hello.
Hey, can you hear me now? Hello? Yeah, I got phone trouble. Hello? Yeah, I got phone. Okay, so I don't know what to do, buddy. Man, this really throws a kink in stuff for today. Frustrates me. And here's the thing. So whenever I go, and I announce rodeo still all over the country. I was in North Dakota last week. I'll be back up there next week. When I have a day that I can't dial, I know that costs me money a lot.
Yeah.
And if you're slow today in your business, it's not because of what you did yesterday. It's what you did 60 days ago or 45 days ago or didn't do. And so when I'm looking at today, I'm thinking, okay, I'm dialing today because on 10/13 I want business. And so that's why you're working today, because you're in October, you're going to need business. So when my phone's not working, I know that this is costing me business that's going to impact me in a month, which I'm just going to double up, but I'm going to have to go figure out something on this phone. I don't know what else to do. I can call another guy and see if maybe it works, but.
Yeah, you and I were having some troubles before, and so why don't we do this? I think you really put your brand, who you are, your philosophy out there into the REDX community, and this was a great opportunity to share that with them, and that we'll bring you back. We'll make sure all the cell phone stuff's worked out. I loved how you said it one time when we were on the phone is you used to love going to the rodeos, and that really hasn't changed much, but you think differently about going now because every day you're not on the phone, that's like, that's money that you're not making in 2 months from now. And I thought the psychology behind that, where you choose to be in front of the phone, where so many people have phone fear, to you've created a different relationship with that tool, and that bringing that to today, if nothing else anybody gets out of watching you and hearing this conversation today, I would say that's one of the biggest pieces to take away.
And so like I feel more comfortable talking to a guy that's new than a guy that's seasoned, because I know they're seasoned for a reason. They know what they're doing. But the new guy that's like me, so it's overwhelming. If you're in Dallas, Nectar's MLS is not very expensive, but where I am, our MLS dues alone between me and my wife equal about $350 plus. By the time you pay for everything it takes to be a realtor, with all that other stuff, $500 a month. If you're not making any money, man, you don't just feel like you're not successful. You're going in the hole every single day. And I fell into that trap I get contacted 10 times a day by somebody that wants to do Facebook marketing for me, or somebody that wants to send out cards to my listings, or somebody that wants to send out cards to the area that I've just sold a house in or whatever. And they charge money for all that. And that is great leverage. You need to leverage your time to the best of your ability. Because you know what you're good at, do what you're good at.
Yeah.
And try to
seem to know that.
But when you're sitting there where I was broke, man. I was broke, I was frustrated, and I was beat. And I had to go to bed with a woman every single night that I really, really loved and was trying to convince her for the last 5 months that I was going to get her all her dreams, and I had nothing. And what they really instilled to me is this is free. Now, while REDX is not free, but calling on that phone is free. It don't cost you nothing. And it is the very best marketing we have is to pick up the phone and call somebody and say, hey, listen, I care about your dream and it ain't coming true because your house didn't sell. Can you let me help you get to your dream? Because I don't mind doing it because that's what I do and I'm pretty doggone good at it. And the reason you're good at it is not because you have 20 years of history, because I promise you, my daddy's been alive 76 years and I'm way better at a cell phone than he is. So age and tenure has nothing to do with it. The fact that you're educated in what you do, you're well leveraged, so you have coaches and help and support and a plan. you can be an expert without any, I mean, you don't have to have any real, experience, but you can be really, really good. I sat beside a kid on a plane the other day that handed his mother a Rubik's Cube. She spent about 15 minutes mixing it up, handed it back to that kid, and he did it in about 3 minutes. Well, let me tell you something. That kid can do a lot more than he knows he can do.
Yeah.
He just hasn't approached that place yet. And you can too. If you've got what it takes to get through the school and get your license and get with a broker and get frustrated to the point that you're trying to find something that'll work, then you got everything it takes to do it. The difference is you just gotta sit out. Affirmation is a big deal. Look at yourself in the mirror. This sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy. Look at yourself in the mirror. Put a mirror in front of your desk. Look at yourself in that mirror and find affirmations that make you feel good. Like I have in front of mine, all work expands to fulfill the time that's allowed. Don't listen to your drunk monkey. Complaining is a garbage magnet. Don't do what you have always done and you'll get what you've always got. You get what you deserve in your imagination. God gave you that dream. If you got a dream came from him, you deserve it. Go get it. You teach people how to treat you. You can be, you can do, and you can have, but you got to do it all. You can't just have. You got to be the right guy. You got to be the guy that cares. You got to be somebody that loves people. You got to do the work. And you can have anything you want. And so you keep score with money, but if you make your business about money, you will always feel like you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. If you make it about people, then you will never, ever, ever run in lack. There'll be times where you have more money than others, but you'll never feel empty because there's an empty feeling when productivity starts, even if your bank account's full.
Yeah.
It's empty. I mean, I got people that they don't spend any money, they got lots of it, and they're miserable. And then I got people that are dirt broke, and they'll give away every dollar they got, and they love people, and they're the happiest people on the planet. And really what this is about you being happy. It's about you as a person being happy inside so that you can be happy outside. And if you're not happy inside, your outsides are never going to be pretty. They're just not. And so believe in yourself. Do the work of self-help. Spend time on you. So I'm not going to preach or nothing, but if you think about, so even in a biblical context, you can only love somebody else like you love yourself, because that's what you have to give away. That's what you have to give away. And so if you don't love yourself enough to not be frustrated and to not be bitter and to not be angry and to not be jealous, if you don't love yourself enough to not carry that stuff in yourself, you're always going to see that in other people. And so the minute you get that out of you, then when you look at somebody that is jealous or is bitter or is angry, you don't recognize that. You just see that that is a hitchhiker on a really great creation of person. And so since that's not who they are, we won't love that part of them. We'll love the part that's underneath all that. And when you get that figured out, man, your business, it ain't even about business anymore. You just get up and go love people, and people love you back. And that's better than money. It's better than money.
I think what you said really was the world reflects back to you what's inside of you. And I think, the last couple of minutes you've spent is a good place to wrap. I think you've given people a lot to think about, to feel about today, and that you and I are going to connect soon. Again, bringing you back. We'll get that phone situation fixed.
And AT&T will connect sooner.
Yeah. So, Racer, thanks so much for doing this with us, for the community. I'm sure people are going to want to reach out to you, and so they'll probably end up Googling your name. And so don't be surprised when people who are in similar situations say, hey, Racer, I saw your show. Thanks so much for sharing that. That really helped me just hold on to the hope to know that anything's possible when you put in the hard work. So we'll connect soon, and thanks so much for joining us today.
Hey, buddy, I apologize. I can't control this phone. It controls me sometimes, but I can't control it. So.
Yep.
And it's costing me right now. I got people I want to meet. I don't know yet. Doggone it. Got me all messed up. Thank you so much. Listen, I'm grateful for y'all. Y'all didn't mean to. Y'all had a product that you believed in.
Yep.
But because of that, it was like water to a drowning guy. And so, I'm telling you, because we had the right tools and we were willing to use them to go to work, our life dramatically has changed. And so that's what you got to do. Go get the right tools. Be willing to use them, even if it's uncomfortable. Get really comfortable being uncomfortable. The more uncomfortable you get, the more you should rejoice, because you're right on the edge of a breakthrough. You're right on the edge of things coming completely unwound. And if you want an uncontrollable business, you have to control your life. And so controlling your life is saying, this is where I'm headed. I'm going to need these tools to get there, and I have to move at a certain speed or a certain pace, or I'm not going to go anywhere. But then when you do that, you better have some stuff in place. Like, you better think about who's going to take care of my transaction coordinator work, because you're going to need them. It's hard to go on a listing appointment every single day of the week, and we go to about 3 to 5 listing appointments a week. You cannot do that and know you have to go back and write contracts till midnight. You need to be able to call somebody on the phone and say, hey, I just listed this property. Here's the old MLS number. Take care of it. Send it to them in the morning. I don't even show up with a contract, because I feel like if they buy me while I'm there, they'll sign that contract tomorrow. I don't want to leverage somebody into signing a contract right then. Now, some of them old guys will say, you're crazy. I just know they're going to like me because I already like them. I like them before I ever get there. And so I say, I do everything on a handshake, and then I send them a contract.
Well, we like you, Racer.
Huh?
Well, we like you.
We like you too, but different parts of the country are different. I mean, I live in the South, so if I stick my hand out in front of a guy and I say, look, that's a deal, shake on it. He shakes my hand, that's good as gold, 99% of the time. Now, there's different parts of the world where people don't do business that way, but we do. And I've never had a contract sent the next day that somebody's backed out on, not one single time. And typically they kind of like the fact that I don't show up with a bunch of paperwork. I show up with a 2-page deal that says, this is how I'm going to sell your house, and I can do it. And now I get to say, and these are the houses that I've sold that were just like yours, that were on sale day after day after day after day after freaking day. And they didn't sell. But then I got a hold of them, and 15 days later, we're headed towards a closing table. So if you want me to do this for you, I'm for hire. How do you like it? And I stick my hand out, shake their hand. Tomorrow I send them a contract. So, I mean, that's how we do it. But it ain't about money. It's never. We keep score with it, but it ain't about money. So just go get them, man. Go get them. Don't be scared. People love you. See you, brother.
All right. Well, hey, everyone, thank you for joining us for today's live prospecting show. Didn't get as many calls in as we like, but that's really, I think, more important. On the next time we bring Racer, we'll show him demonstrating all those things in action. And so I just want to thank everybody who made today's shows possible. Racer, the team here at REDX on the content side, Haley, Andrew, all the customer support people that help people like Racer get set up and going, all the engineers, all the salespeople who help bring this whole experience that REDX offers to life, so people can have an opportunity to build sustainable businesses and predictable futures. I'm your host, Justin Zimmerman. I'll see you on the next show. Catch you then.
Dude, I'm so sorry. That frustrates me to death.
Yeah, no, we roll with the punches, man. Like, not every day goes 100, but we brought you on because
I have a real
who you
problem.
are, not what you do, right? So you just talked about who you were, and I think that's going to make a nice big difference.
Well, we deal with realtors that are just money, or they're just a deal, and they're never happy. I mean, it doesn't matter if they just closed a $500,000 deal, or they're never happy. And that's not what I want. I want a life by design. I want a happy, healthy, friendly, well-liked, well-respected life.
Life by design. Need to put that down.
And
that's one of the things I think people want.
Yeah, they want, but you have to design it. You have to say, I'm going to get back whatever I put out there. And you got to be sure, and people will smell it, man. They smell fake. People will smell you out. And so you better settle all that stuff inside you first, and that's one thing that we didn't have a problem with. That was the beauty of, we started with an ingredient where we had already dealt with all